What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. So about 8 months ago I made a video going over all the guns that I have owned over the years, and kind of talking about each one, how I got them, what I like about them, and this and that. And that's been my most popular video on my channel by far. And with how popular it was, it got a lot of comments, and I want to go over some of them because there's definitely a lot of interesting ones that I think a lot of people were having a misconception about the gun I was showing, or just like firearms in general. And I kind of want to clear some things up by going over each comment and talking about each one individually, and just kind of like do a little appreciation video of these comments, as well as clearing up any misunderstandings. I know it's been a long time since I made this video, but I just now thought of the idea. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So I'm looking at the first comment from Heathen Projects 2639. I'll probably put like the comment like up here somewhere, but he basically said, I shoot .243 more than anything. After a soldier started a few months ago, my larger calibers collect dust. I did build a nice little 3.35 Grendel this year and had a pretty fun new sub. And has been a pretty fun new sub. Thanks for the comment. As always, Heathen Projects. I don't think I responded to your comment, but super cool. Okay, for this, I realized now that he was saying 243. I thought he was saying 223. So that's why I said that you could shoot it out of an AR-15. So I'm not stupid. Please calm down. I know you cannot shoot 243 out of an AR-15. Let's just continue on the video. Yeah, 243 is a pretty soft shooting cartridge, especially out like an AR-15, which is how I shoot mine. If I usually use 5.56 since I do have a 5.56 upper. So really cool, really cool. Never shot a 6.5, but I would definitely be down to try like a 6.5 Creedmoor or something. Pretty good deer hunting cartridge. It's very popular with that. And then so moving on from that, we got Mr. Michaels 6201-96I. Interesting name, but he said, I want to know when revolvers get a safety. So I'm not really big on revolvers, but I showed off mine, which was a 22 revolver, and it has a kind of like a little safety feature on it. I know I guess I realized that maybe not a lot of them do have safety features on them, since usually the safety's in like the hammer. And you got to cock that hammer back unless you're using a double action, obviously. But if you want a single action, you got the thumb, and that's kind of like your safety. Kind of like the same with pistols. The trigger's your safety for a lot of them. But I'll go ahead and show you my 22 revolver and show you the safety that I mentioned, because what else the fuck could it be? This thing is dusty as fuck, but here's the 22 revolver I was referring to. Okay, we have a higher quality camera this time, but as you can see, resting, the hammer is off where the firing pin and everything else would be. But if I lower this, look where it goes. What else would you call this other than a safety? Because when I put it there, the gun cannot fire. Like, the gun cannot fire. I gotta do a chamber check real fast. Yeah. This thing's a piece of shit, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that in my last video, but this thing is a fucking piece of shit. It was my dad's, and at some point it got broken, and I don't ever fucking use this thing. I really don't even shoot 22 at all, really, anymore. I really need to get a good 22, but I don't know what you'd call this other than a safety. I understand that's not typical, but look where it lands. That's clearly off the firing pin, or I guess 22s don't really use firing pin. It's, whatever ignites the fucking primer, it's not going to be on there. It's not going to fucking ignite the primer if it's like this. And then what else would you call it in the safety? So Mr. Michaels, if you're ever watching this video, probably not, but I don't know what else are you going to call this other than the fucking safety. So anyway, put this to the side for now. This guy said, dang, your guns suck. Well, I know my guns weren't like the flashiest. I don't really have the assets of like fucking the big gun YouTubers. It was my first ever gun video, and it was just some of the guns that were hand-me-downs and guns that I'd bought. But yeah, they were mostly hunting rifles beside the AR-15, so sorry, man. Slayer Player 79 was the commenter. Sorry, Slayer, that you were disappointed in the selection of weapons I had. Like I said, I do want to start a collection. Obviously, I got a new edition with the Mosin and the Gaunt, but like I said, I don't have thousands of dollars to pour into the coolest guns ever. Maybe if this YouTube shit ever pops off, I'll be able to do more buying like more interesting guns. But I honestly can't get my hands on unique firearms because I just don't have the money. I can't get a fucking damn Scar 17 because it costs $3,000 fucking dollars, and then mod it out with some good ass shit that's gonna cost like another fucking $3,000 at least. So like, sorry, man. Next up is Cooking with Avery 444, who says 700 rifle. Try like 400 or 500. You just try to make it look like you got the most expensive girl in the world. I can tell you one. I can tell you I got one. The same gun looks the same caliber, and oh my god, it's hard to read. And I bought it for 450, brand spanking new with the optic. So I think I guess he thinks I'm lying. Listen, guys. First of all, why the fuck would I lie about the prices of my rifles? I don't care. A fucking $500 rifle, if you if you know how to use it, can shoot just as good as the more expensive ones. It's more about the shooter than the rifle itself. Obviously, there are better, sturdy, and more accurate rifles out there, but that shit does not mean anything if the shooter isn't worth a shit. You don't get practice in. So fucking the price of the rifle means nothing. I was only mentioning the price for people who were curious. And yes, the rifle was $700 fucking dollars. I literally looked online to even check myself, and yes, there were rifles that were under that price. A few that were around, 600, 550 at times, but for the same rifle that I have, a lot of them weren't even the same exact rifle I had, like spec for spec. But I understand that on other places and websites, there are going to be rifles that are cheaper for the same rifle. I don't know what you want me to do with this information. To be honest, I'm just telling you the price that I got it for, which was at Academy Sports in a city I live near. I don't know if you wanted me to go to a different store or what, but I paid $700 for it. I don't have the receipt to show you the price, but I'm not trying to like flex. It's just a basic Remington Model 700. I understand that it's not like the craziest and most expensive Remington Model 700 that you can buy, but I mean, it's what I got. It's a good rifle, pretty accurate, has a nice long barrel. Don't know exactly what the twist rate is on it, but I've shot accurately for the distances I want to shoot with it, since I'm only going to really use it for deer hunting. I'm not really going to use it for sports shooting, so why would I even want to pay, more than that? But yeah, I don't really know. These motherfuckers want me to do with this information. I'm not trying to be rude. I apologize, Cooking with Avery, if you're watching this. I don't mean to be rude, but I really don't understand what you want me to do with this information. I can't go ahead and go back in time and buy the rifle that you bought. Plus, prices go up over time, so you could have bought that rifle years ago, and the gun is obviously going to be more expensive because inflation is a thing. And right now, especially, prices have gone up significantly. So that's just how it is. Thank you for the comment, though. Then we got UL Fish Getter. Shout out. And assuming you're referring to the University of Louisville, I live in Kentucky, so represent. But he said, bro, ... mount the scope lower on the 700, get some one-piece tally rings, lows. Those are crazy high. I do agree with these statements, so I got a few of these as well, where people are saying my scope mount was way too high. I do agree with that, and I did get that changed. I'll go ahead and show you right now. All right, this is the Remington Model 700 that everyone was saying was nowhere near the price that I paid for. But yeah, I did get new mounts. I got the Monstrum rings, and now they sit significantly lower, which is a lot better. What I had before was a see-through scope ring that I had put on a Model 7 Remington because it had iron sights, and since it's a youth model, the rings the clearance was too high for you even to see the front sight. So I ended up switching rings again with the Model 7 and putting those rings on this rifle, and just for a placeholder. But I never ended up buying new rings until a few months ago, where I finally decided to lower the mount. It's a lot better because you can actually get a cheek weld on the stock, and I feel like it's a lot more comfortable and better eye relief with it being lower as well. And I think that was definitely something I want to do. I know that the rifle rings were freaking high. I knew it, and I do apologize. Y'all had to see that, but it's fixed now. Got lower rings. Could honestly go even lower than this, but I think this is fine. But yeah, this is the rifle now. Lower scope rings. There you go. Thank you for the comments letting me know, but I already knew that they were too high because those were see-through mounts on a rifle that had no iron sights on it. So thank you for the comment, UL Fish Getter. All right, this guy, Dave8722010 or 87-2010 said, "Cool video, man. Quite the collection you got started. I recommend adding a Ruger 1022 and some sort of 22 LR pistol to your collection. Sucks your rough rider is broken. Maybe you can watch some YouTube videos and fix it. If not, Ruger regulars are fairly affordable in that a single action army style, they're so much more affordable to shoot and practice with. You can greatly improve your pistol fundamentals with more practice. Red dots are cool, but they are a crutch for not knowing the good fundamentals. I can tell you from experience, I'm doing a whole gun hobby backwards. I have a lot of cool high-end modern stuff, and now I'm being drawn back to more simple guns, lever actions with open sights, and revolvers. I'm in love with the mechanical feel of it all. 44 Magnum and at 60 round a box is killing me. 357 at $30 a box. 30 at 26 for 20 rounds. It all adds up super fast. There are 2 to 300 per day range trips and are absolutely brutal. Last time I took my 1022 and a brick of Thunder Duds. I paid $14 for a few years back. It was a blast and didn't cost me $1 every time I pulled the trigger. I'm in the market for a Ruger 22 revolver myself, hoping to snag a Black Friday deal on one. My old trusty 1022 is a lot of fun. Buying that one of the smartest first gun purchases I've made, and I've quickly had the fancy video game guns and sidelined it. I put a decent cheap scope and sling on it right away and didn't use it much. I've since replaced the stock barrel, trigger, etc. Just a fun, affordable mods you can do slowly over time. Not that it needs any besides the bolt catch release. You can DIY if you have a Dremel tool or files. You can wear some targets out all afternoon and get in some good shooting practice reps like for $20. I'm rambling, but those are some mistakes I've made in the hobby. I can't recommend 22s enough unless you're made of money. It looks like you have hunting bases covered. Just need to practice. Dave8722010, I appreciate your comment. I like how you went thorough. If you're watching this, obviously, most people aren't, but I'm glad that you went through a thorough comment, giving good advice. I can tell that you are very informed and very knowledgeable on the hobby of collecting and shooting guns. I really appreciate the kind words as well. It does suck that the price of ammo has gone up, and depending on the calibers, can be quite expensive. I usually buy my ammo online. On AmmoSeek, you can find really cheap deals on there. The shipping isn't too bad either. You can also find deals where you can get free shipping after you order a certain amount of boxes, and they usually come in a few days. But even then, you don't really need ammo right away. In most cases, unless deer season just snuck up on you, or some kind of hunting season just snuck up on you. But yeah, I do want to get a good 22 rifle, a Ruger 1022. I'll definitely look into. They're obviously cheap. The ammo is super fucking cheap. You can get thousands of rounds of 22 for fucking no money, and you can just plink with it and get some good practice in, learn the fundamentals and stuff. So I definitely agree with that. And a Ruger 22 revolver would be cool too. I'd like to get a 22. I'm not really big on getting a 22 pistol, but definitely want to get a good 22 rifle because a lot of the ones I have are fucking shit. No good, but I do use 22s occasionally for squirrel hunting or fucking coon hunting. So those are, I definitely do appreciate the comment, and those are definitely fun to shoot and are super cheap. So thank you once again, Dave8722010, and I hope you are doing really well right now, and hopefully you're still shooting and doing what you love, man. Appreciate the comment. Jimmy Ocum, it's a weird name. 9556 slings. You need some slings, especially on your defense choices. I only say that as advice. I always thought I could do without it in my younger days. Thankfully, it didn't cost me, but it could have. I guess for defense choices, you're referring to like the AR-15 and the shotgun. I don't know if I can put a one on the shotgun, but I do have a sling on my AR-15 now. I'll go ahead and show you that as well. But I think it fell off. So I got the M-LOK. It's just my handguard M-LOK. Obviously, you can get Picatinny rail ones too, but I thought the M-LOKs would be simpler. But I've come to find out that I fucking hate M-LOK because this shit fucking fell off just randomly, even though I tightened the fuck out of these. Also have an M-LOK handguard that I took off that I didn't show off. I'll go ahead and show that real fast. And here's my M-LOK handguard that I've long since taken off because I really didn't like it that much. I'm thinking about getting like a Picatinny rail piece to put on the M-LOK so I can actually have a wider selection of grips. So I want to kind of get like an angled grip or something. This is dirty as fuck. But yeah, man, I do appreciate the advice. I did get a sling. It is a lot more comfortable not having to hold it all the time, especially if I'm walking the fields. Maybe if I'm looking for coyotes or something, I'll wear the sling and bring the AR-15 out, and it'll make it a lot more comfortable than holding it. Because despite how light it is, it's only like, what, 6 pounds, 7 pounds fully loaded. It does get tiring carrying it all the fucking time, so the full weight of it all the time. So a sling definitely helps. So I did buy one. Thank you, Jimmy Ocum 9556 for your comment. I definitely did invest in that. So we got C Bob White 5768. Probably not a good idea to display all your weapons. You never know who's watching these videos. Also use FMJ ammo to get on target, but if you want to sight profile with your ammo, sight the rifle in with the ammo you're going to hunt with. I can guarantee the two bullets are not going to print the same. 100% agree with your comment. I did comment this. 100% agree with your comment. The bullets are definitely going to fly differently, especially if the grains are different. I do exactly what you mentioned. I use the FMJ ammo to get it sighted in, get a good, good tight grouping, and then I will switch over to the hunting rounds to see where those hit. And yeah, I've had a lot of success hunting using that method. With my 308, my 243 and stuff. So definitely great advice from C Bob White. Not really sure about what you were mentioning in the beginning though, with not showing all my weapons. I don't know. Pretty much nobody I really know other than my friends watch these videos for the most part. I mean, I guess that could be good advice, but I think I'll be all right, man. Then we got Hey Redden 2.0 seconds 10, which says well fucking aiming. Yeah, I guess my aiming was okay, but it wasn't really all that. But I do appreciate the comment nonetheless. Now we got Vladimir Anders 5594, 556 and 223. I don't know who taught you. You're wrong. Go back to school. You are definitely not a gun guy, because anyone who knows anything about guns knows that 223 is the same exact thing as 556. It's just metric and standard. You are correct, Mr. Vladimir, or Mr. Sanders. The metric, and it is a metric and standard conversion, but the bullets are not the same. If they were the same, then why would they have both cartridges? They are not the same. I sent him an article in the comments and told him to give me a read and get back to me after. He never commented back on there, but there is a difference. I'm not really the most knowledgeable, but I know there's a difference. There is a difference in chamber pressure. 556 by 45 NATO is going to have a bit higher chamber pressure than 223. I was wanting to make a video on this, but I haven't really got... I need to buy a box of 223 just to explain this, because there is a difference between 223 and 556. Chamber pressure, the throats on the chambers of a 556 upper barrel chamber is going to be different than the 223, and the 223s is just not going to be able to handle the chamber pressure of 556. You can probably get away with loading some lower pressure 556, like some 55 grain. You could probably get away like some steel case wolf ammo or some shit. You can definitely probably get away with shooting 556 out of a fucking 223 chamber, but you are definitely not going to get away with running some like M855, 62 or 75 grain match grade ammo out of a fucking 223, man. 223 chamber. You might be able to get through a mag, but you're not going to be able to get through a fucking 100 or 200 rounds of 5.56 match grade through a 223 chamber. It's just not going to happen. Either you're going to hurt yourself, you're going to get someone else hurt, or you're just going to break your rifle. It's not going to be a good time. So definitely not good advice. It's kind of weird that you insulted me while being blatantly wrong and also didn't delete your comment, which I do respect, by the way. I mean, that's pretty big. But you were just wrong. If you're watching this, or if anyone's watching this and think this guy is true, just look it up. There is a difference between 5.56 and 223. There's a reason why they are the same dimensions, but they are in different boxes. There would be no if they were exactly the same, there would be no reason for difference. Just saying. But he is right. It is a metric and standard measurement. 223 being standard, 5.56 being metric. Okay, or imperial. I think is what the United States and maybe a couple other countries is. Karl-Hein Zonkroman 2217. I probably butchered that. Mentioned that. Said, "Do not let my guns rust." Yeah, definitely should not let your guns rust. I did mention that a little bit of rust. Well, my rifles, because a lot of them were hand-me-downs and they weren't in a great condition, I really couldn't get the rust off. I really don't have the equipment to do like a full restoration of these guns. I'm sure you can hire services to like completely get rid of the rust on rifles completely, but I just have a simple gun cleaning kit, so beating the rust off is really hard. And I do sometimes get a thin layer of rust on my rifles because my hands do get sweaty. Well, I have really clammy hands, but they sometimes get sweat on the metal parts of the rifle, and I do get a thin sheet of rust on there that I have to clean off if I don't clean it right away in like the first couple days after shooting. But some shit on my monitor. But yeah, I definitely don't want to get my guns rust, but let my guns rust. But they're doing fine. All of my guns are clean and good to go. I usually clean them in the first couple days of shooting them. Team Hunt JJ8FJ said that the shotgun is a Springfield or Savage. So I was mentioning that the shotgun that was my grandmother's, which had the Mossberg safety, I guess I'll go ahead and show it real fast. But this thing has a crazy long barrel, but this is a shotgun. It's a 20 gauge. And I was mentioning that I have no idea what brand of shotgun this is. So all I know is a 20 gauge. It has a Mossberg safety, so my best guess was maybe it's a Mossberg. And a lot of people gave me different comments. This guy says a Springfield Savage. I don't see any stamps on it. All I see is Coast to Coast Stores model 257 Series C. There's some markings on it too I don't recognize, but it's like barrel, like manufactured test markings and stuff from the factory. But maybe I'll do some more research onto it and find out the definitive answer of it. But yeah, it's a 20 gauge pump action shotgun that I used to hunt squirrels and like other like birds and stuff with. I really want to get a 12 gauge. I think it's going to be my next gun purchase, but yeah. I'll show you the markings. The camera will focus on it. That's just the factory markings, the manufacturer markings. Ooh. Are right there. Oh, guys. Oh, it says Coast to Coast Stores, model like 257 Series C, so if that rings any bells, then let me know, because I'm actually curious. I should probably ask my grandmother what it is, because she might know. But yeah, it has a Mossberg safety on it, so I thought maybe it was like some kind of like, lower piece of like Mossberg, like some kind of like different manufacturer, a subsidiary of Mossberg. But all right, moving on to user YU7 or YU1ZP2VU9X. Interesting name, but he said, "I like the video, real people making true live unedited videos. Just an idea to think about. Put a muzzle brake on the 308, especially if the barrel is threaded. I'm sure it sure helped me with accuracy. They aren't extremely expensive. I also have a same 22 LR revolver. Mine is a blast to shoot and is very economical. Mine is fully functional. Thanks for the good video." So he mentioned putting a muzzle brake on my 308. I'll probably never do that. I don't really have a problem with the accuracy of the rifle that much. I don't know how a muzzle brake in particular would help with accuracy, but it might help with like some of the recoil, but I really don't care. The gun doesn't kick super hard. It's just a 308. It's like I'm throwing like a fucking 7mm Magnum or like a fucking 300 Win Mag or anything. It's pretty soft, easy to shoot. I mean, my shoulder is getting numb after like 2 or 3 boxes of shooting it in a session, but not too bad. So thanks for the advice though, and I'm glad that your revolver actually works because mine's a piece of shit, and I don't know if you can even order the part, because I know the part I need to order, or at least I did, but I don't know if you can order that like separately. I might just have to order a new one if I want to get it again, but I probably never will. I'll probably, if I'm gonna get a revolver, it's gonna be like 357 or like a 44 Magnum or something. So not a fucking 22. But thanks for the comment. And then we got WS Bill 14224. He said, you didn't spill the powder, nothing came out of the barrel, and it was on camera the whole time. You never put the powder in the first place. That's why you shouldn't smoke pot before making YouTube gun videos. So he's referring to how the old muzzleloader I have didn't fire. And let me tell you, I loaded it off camera because I didn't think you would want to watch me loading a fucking muzzleloader slow as fuck on camera. So I went and grabbed it and loaded it on camera. I can assure you there is powder. There was powder in a fucking ball in there. It just didn't fire. I think I put like 1 or 2 primers in that thing and it still didn't shoot. So I heard it might be the primers. I haven't really checked if it's the primers. I haven't checked since. But yeah, dude, I don't even smoke pot at all. I mean, I do sometimes, but not really enough to. I definitely wouldn't do it before making a YouTube video. The only thing I'd do it before doing a YouTube video is drink alcohol, maybe. But I definitely did put powder in it. I thought maybe it fell out the front because the ball was smaller than the diameter of the. Or I think I lowered it before putting the ball in it because I want to show putting the ball in. But yes, I did put powder in the fucking. I know it may look like I didn't, but I did put powder into the rifle. So yeah. But thanks for the comment anyway, WS Bill. Mac and Cheese, good name by the way, said that like your dog is not gun shy. Yeah, my dog in particular and her mom, which also lives with me, both are not gun shy at all. As a matter of fact, a bad thing about the other dog, the one that's my dog's mom, is that she likes to run at where the bullets are going because she thinks I shot something and she wants to get it or look at it, which is a very bad habit of hers, which means like when I go shoot guns, like for practice or just for fun, she has to go inside because she will get in the way every single time. But my dog does not do that, but she's definitely not gun shy either. We go hunting sometimes, she'll go chase out a rabbit, and I'll, when we go rabbit hunting, she's not like the greatest rabbit dog or anything, but she does a good enough job for me. Thanks for the comment. I guess I didn't like it. I'm going to go ahead and heart it. Kind of late now, but thanks for the comment. I got Trumplican. Good name. You can shoot 5.56 and a 2.23 just fine. That's a myth. Some 5.56 chambers have different throat length, but that's not going to cause any issues. It's the biggest myth in firearms that they don't interchange. Yeah, right. Like he said, 5.56 can shoot both fine, but like I said, 2.23, you can, like I said, you can probably get away with some. I've heard some stories of people getting away with shooting 5.56 out of 2.23 barrel or whatever, or chamber. But the thing is, you're kind of playing with fire because you get some, like I say, if you lose like steel case wolf ammo that doesn't have hardly any fucking powder in it and doesn't have a high chamber pressure, then yeah, it's not gonna be a fucking problem for the most part. But if we're talking like match grade 5.56 through a 2.23 muzzle or a fucking 2.23 chamber, you're gonna have some fucking difficulties, man. It's just how it is. I don't know why people kept saying it's a myth. It's not a myth. John Poole commented, John Poole 8321 said, you need to work on with the 308, put a scope on 3 to 4 power and sight in for 40 yards for starters. Nothing wrong with old Tasco assault scopes. And the 243 you are giving your brother needs to have some see-through mounts so you can look through the open sights if the scope fogs or gets knocked out of line. pretty good advice. I'm not really sure about the zeroing advice. What I do is I bore sight it first. Then I might set the target out at like maybe a good 20 yards just to see where I'm hitting on the paper. If I get it decently centered, then I set it out to about 100 because that's really where I put it, where I want to put it, because that's about where I'd say 308 just starts to really drop. So that's where I start. That's where I put my zero. And yeah, I do that until I get a nice, decent grouping near the center. I usually go for tight groupings over. That's usually what I do. And the Tasco, so it wasn't Tasco that was the problem. It was the fact that the scope was so high off the bore of the rifle that I think the scope, because I never could get it sighted in with that mount on it, because I think it was so high off the bore of the rifle that I couldn't get the scope low enough or to the left enough, even using up the entirety of the turret. Yeah, so that was another reason what really pushed me to buy lower scope mounts, and now it gets sighted in just fine. And yes, I'm still using the Tasco scope as well. And he also mentioned that the 243 needs see-through mounts for the irons. Like I said, I did have that one that was on my 308 during this video, was on the 243, but it did not have enough clearance, like I said earlier, for you to see the iron sights. And it used to have iron sights or see-through sights on it that did work, but I had to get rid of those because those went bad. And I just went with like 2 small Picatinny rails to put normal scope rings on it. But I don't really care about the iron sights. I guess it is good if your scope does fog up or gets knocked out of line. But if that does happen, I'm probably just going to pack it up, to be honest. But yeah, appreciate the advice. Thanks. Hungry Yeti 2548 said, scope ring is way too high on the Remington 700 and should be on a bench. Don't know what you mean by on a bench. But yeah, I did get new scope rings like I mentioned in the previous comment before. Thanks for the comment, Yeti, but I already discussed this one. I don't know what on a bench means. Molar 2A, I'm guessing Second Amendment. Just a tip, brother. You shouldn't ever shoot the last of your ammo and never know what might happen. Don't want to be sitting dry. I know you have other guns, but actually, good advice. I think I shot the last like my 20 gauge, but all the other rifles I used in that video had ammo left over, and I've left ammo left over for all my guns. Yeah, every single one of my guns right now as well. So even though I need to order more, I did shoot my guns not too long ago. They still have ammo left over, but really good advice. Thank you for the comment. Gorilla AHD 9247 said, nice, well-rounded collection. Good video. Thanks for the comment, man. Glad you think so. Definitely could use some improvements. I'm still continuing the collection. Like I said, recently bought a Mosin Nagant, which was one of my dream rifles, so that was really cool. So I think the next thing I'm going to get is a 12 gauge. And of course, I'll be making a video on that as well. So stay posted on that. The Goblin Stopper. It's not the rifle, it's the percussion cap. I use the same shitty CCI caps and every 4 set off the charge. He's referring to the fact that my muzzleloader, the old muzzleloader, didn't fire when I did it. The other guy mentioned I didn't load the power at all. This guy actually gave some good advice and says the percussion caps could 100% be true. I have not tried it since. I don't really want to use that rifle anymore. I have a different muzzleloader that works a lot better. So I probably won't be using that. I'll probably just be using the other muzzleloader. But thanks for the advice anyway. I might try it later down the road, but don't really plan on it. Once again, thanks for the comment though. I'll definitely consider it. Jabs Javes says, love the comment. Small channels have the best videos. Don't know if I agree with the small channels have the best videos comment. I have seen some small channels with some really lazy content. Not to say that my content's like really good or anything. Mine's pretty not great. I don't think it's very up to standard per se, because I just do these videos myself for fun. And I usually take about maybe an hour, if that, to edit my videos. So they're not really the craziest. I'm using open source software as well. So, but thanks for the comment. And of course, if If you want to watch more, obviously, I'm here for you, man. Major Mike Mitchell said, "Good day, old son. Enjoy your toys. Love, pray, practice." Great advice, man. Thanks for the comment. Definitely still be shooting, and I probably will be until I fucking, can't anymore. Love shooting my guns. Never gonna get rid of them. Always gonna shoot them. Just I wish ammo was a bit cheaper so I could do it more often. Nice little collection you got going on there. Once again, AR American 1. Forgot to mention your name, but thanks for the comment. Decent little collection. Definitely need some improvements. I definitely want to buy some more like AR platforms. I really want to get an AR-10. Thought about getting a Scar, but I think a Scar is going to be a little bit out of my price range for a bit. But I definitely want an AR-10. I want like a 308 semi-automatic. That's going to be my next one. Or I want to get like a different like AR upper, like maybe like a 300 Blackout or a I don't want any AR-15. But yeah, definitely going to be improving on the collection as time goes on. I'll trade you some Genchem for some guns. What the fuck is Genchem? PBR Street Gang 88 said, "I'll trade you Genchem for some guns." What the fuck is Genchem? The fuck is Genchem? Moving on. The Blind Sniper 9130 or 9130. Oh, what's a Mosin reference? Pretty much all my content is gun stuff. Haha, and now you're officially a gun channel. Solid sub from me. Great lineup. Yeah, man, the Blind Sniper is also a weapon or a gun content creator, and he makes pretty good content. So if you're watching this and haven't watched him and are interested in small channels, like trying to grow small channels with gun related and stuff, go ahead and check out the Blind Sniper 9130. I've checked him out. He says some pretty good content. So, and it definitely seems like a decent guy. So, thank you. Thank you for the comment, the Blind Sniper, and yeah, your content's good. So if you're watching this, thank you. Superstar8989 said, "The Coast to Coast 20 gauge is one of the guns made by Mossberg to be sold at hardware stores. Another brand name that was popular was Western Auto. Hardware stores could get these from manufacturers like Remington and Mossberg under the guise of a different name and not have to pay for branding. There should be a model number that is a clone of the main brand." So yeah, this was like, once again, the question with asking which shotgun this was. This guy said is a subsidiary of Mossberg and Remington that sold these at hardware stores. So they were sold at hardware stores, so they have to pay for branding. Makes a lot of sense, actually. And yeah, I definitely can definitely see that, and it might be it. I might have to do some research on my own, but definitely believe that. That sounds very... he could be right. I'll have to look into it myself. But thanks for the comment. Thanks for doing the research and informing me about this this shotgun, because like I said, I still don't really know a definitive answer, and a lot of people in the comments are also not sure about the actual branding of the shotgun. So who knows for sure. I'll do my research, like I said. Next up is James 2556. "Rings are too high on the 308. And I said, yeah. Or I said, they're fine. For me, it's really just personal preference. But no, he's actually 100% on the money. That shit was not great. Like I said, you couldn't get a cheek weld. And it also had shitty eye relief and kind of was uncomfortable in the neck because you kind of had to have your neck straight up. So yeah, I did buy new scope rings. If you're watching this, James SK22556. Like I said, the rifle has new scope rings now, so you don't have to worry about it. Next up is from Jacob Hill 4632 for a cheap 12 gauge. Check out Blue Line Solutions 12 gauge. Dalonga Armory has them for 137. Little crazy deal. It's a Chinese 870 clone. Not sure if I want to pay for a Chinese clone of a already pretty cheap shotgun with the Remington 870, but I'll definitely look into it. I was thinking of maybe getting like Benelli shotgun or some kind of semi-auto 12 gauge. I really don't know what the good brands are. Obviously, Benelli is a really expensive brand. Them shotguns are going to cost close to over $1,000, and I'm really just using it for hunting, so I don't really need the big magazine size. Definitely can't afford a Benelli M4. It's like $3,000, so I'll definitely look into buying a shotgun. But yeah, thank you for the advice. I'll check out the Dalunga Armory Chinese 870 clone, but I don't know if I'm gonna buy one. I don't mind spending a decent amount of money on my guns, and so I don't really try to buy cheap, clones of weapons, of guns. I like to get the real deal. So, but thank you for the comment once again, Jacob. Scott Ramsey 9405 said, buy a 10 gauge shotgun. Are we serious? Are we serious right now, man? I'm not buying a fucking 10 gauge. First of all, the shells are probably going to be pretty expensive. Second of all, I don't really need the extra kick, and what the fuck can a 10 gauge do that a 12 gauge can't? And they're probably going to be a bit more expensive as well. And they're probably not going to be very fun to shoot. You put a fucking, a Magnum shell, like 3-inch over shells, 3.5-inch fucking shells in a 12 gauge. It's going to fucking hurt to shoot. I can only imagine what 10 gauge feels like. No thank you. But thanks for the comment, Scott Ramsey. Tom Bo was here. 3427 said, nice guns and nice video. Keep up the good work. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. And as always, I appreciate all the comments. Thanks again. And then, of course, my friend, I'll keep his name private, but his channel is Little Zebra, if you're curious. But he said, gonna scare the deer away. And Brad said, yeah, because you know how you shoot a gun and the deer never return to that area ever again. Listen, man, I've never ever had problems shooting around my property and not being able to see deer. The deer stands are like a mile away from where I shoot. So, and also it's my belief that deer hear gunshots all the fucking time. I've literally shot at a fucking deer, killed a deer even, and the deer around them don't give a fuck. So I'm an avid believer that a lot of people shooting guns around the area they hunt, even during deer season, isn't going to affect them at all. I mean, I could be wrong, but like I said, I've literally shot deer. I've shot at deer and they have not fucking moved, or they come back in like fucking 30 minutes. Or like literally last year when I shot my buck, I'll go ahead and show you the skull. This is the buck I shot, a pretty decent, tall 8-point. I literally shot this deer, and like not even 10 minutes later, another deer showed up. Another buck chasing the tail of a doe showed up. I'm a responsible hunter, so I didn't shoot the second one. But hey, you never know. But I'm a responsible hunter, so I didn't shoot the second one. But yeah, I shot this deer, and literally minutes later, a bigger deer showed up after it. So I do not believe deer give a fuck about gunshots. Just my 2 cents. But there was also some other comments, once again referring to my Model 700 being way too expensive for what it is. And I always refer people to different websites, or to find me a website that has a cheaper deal than like $700 I paid for the 700 that I have. Or like the, I think I said it was like, did I say it was 700? It's like 600 or something. I can't really remember how much I paid for it, but if y'all can find me a link that shows the rifle being around like fucking $300 or $400, some of these people were saying, let me fucking know. But there was some other comments I was asking them to find me a website that had the rifle listed at that cheap, and some of them deleted their comments. Also, other comments saying that 5.56 and 2.23 are the same exact thing and there's no difference. Once again, just not true. But I just wanted to do this video to like do a little appreciation video for all the comments and stuff that were on this video, and of course I do appreciate every single one of them. Thank you all for commenting. I know not all of them were super positive, but I still do appreciate all the comments that y'all put on the video, giving me advice and congratulating me on the collection I've gathered over the years. I do appreciate that. So thank you all again for watching this video. If y'all are coming back from this video, once again, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting. And of course, thank you all for watching. And yeah, I'll see you guys in another one. Peace.